Testing 1, 2, 3. Test 1. Test 1, 2. Test 1, 2, 3. All right. Send an invite. Stop it! Come on, Tim, don't stack it. Step here. Test.
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 Stop
Stop
it!
it.
Hello.
I like the trombone.
Thanks.
Thanks.
You'll hear an echo right
You'll
now.
hear an
How
echo
are
right
you,
now.
Emily?
How are you, Emily?
Hi, Tim. How are you?
I'm great.
Great.
You're
You're
hearing a little echo because when I start the show,
uh,
I power it
I
from my
power it from
iPad,
my iPad,
and so there's a
and
little
so there's a
feedback.
little feedback.
That won't be
That
there
won't
when
be there
we're
when we're
doing the
doing
interview.
the
So,
interview.
Okay, that's good to know.
So,
um,
um,
let's do a quick
let's do a quick
sound check
sound check
Sure.
video
video
thing.
thing.
Okay.
So,
So,
why don't you speak first? Just talk normally, how you would.
Sure thing. I'm gonna test my volume here too, so I can hear pretty well. I love my iPods, whatever AirPods.
I know. I need to get some. I look stupid in these, but
No, it's that's the new normal, man. Especially with this pandemic. And plus you look very tech, very radio.
Oh,
So
yeah, right.
there you go, man. Yeah, absolutely.
This
Yeah, I hear
echo's
you great.
freaking Are you playing violin tonight?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
So I wasn't able to download the app to do the audio. So
That's all right. So the reason you're hearing echo is so I don't have to get up. I can power your videos from my iPad. So
okay.
and there won't be an echo because I won't be talking. So
Oh, good. Okay.
I can hear you pretty well. Let me pull up a sound check thing here. Hold on.
Sure.
I'm also going to turn on the light.
I feel like we need another
light in here. Let's see. That's better.
As the light changes, so does the green screen. That's better.
Yes.
It's not going out as much, so you got to turn on a lot of lights to get this thing going. So how this starts, man, this is whatever. Is like a 20-second short intro. And it's just my show start. It shows the name of the show. It shows a quick song. And we're right in. I'll introduce you, and then we're right into questions. So I've done a lot of research. I have a lot of questions. So I figured the video, while you're talking, I'll dial it up so it's ready to go, you know. And so hit that probably in the middle part of the interview. So
sure thing. I know I sent you 3 clips. Do you know which of the 3 or all 3 you might be sharing?
Let me look.
We have. Hold on. My dog needs to stop barking. Why is she barking?
She's backing. Your dogs are backing.
She gets so much. She's so spoiled and everything. Oh my God. You're not even kidding me. I sent these to me. Oh, here they are. Yeah. Video 1. Video 2. So video 1 is I'm going to switch my Wi-Fi on this. Let's try that again. So the first
So
one
the first one I got is
Peter Mayer.
Oh yeah, wonderful.
Yeah. The last island.
Yes.
All right. And the
And
second.
I know that it cuts
and the
off
second-
the guy. Yeah, go ahead.
That's all right. And the second
And
one
the
I
second
got.
one I got.
Hold on. Here it goes.
Here it goes.
Is
Is Baby Bear.
Baby Bear.
Which
Yes.
is a great
I
video.
can talk
Great
about the. Yeah, thank you. You know, it's I can talk about the filming of that. And thank you for being a subscriber. One of my
Yeah.
3 subscribers. I appreciate that. I have a small fan base, but they are zombie-like in their dedication.
Well,
There you go.
They're committed.
Let's see.
see.
Give me one
Excellent.
more vocal test, Emily.
Sure thing. All right, so testing 1, 2.
Can you turn up your
Can you
mic
turn up
a
your
little bit?
A little bit.
Is that possible? It's
that
no big deal
possible?
if you can't.
It's a big deal if you can.
I don't know how that works on AirPods. What I can do is go. Okay, tell me. Okay, here's a check. So here's 1, 2. Now I'm gonna try it with nothing. Okay.
All right.
And okay, this is just the room sound. Is that better?
Keep talking.
Talking.
All right. So testing 1, 2. I can't control this
No.
level either.
The other
That's
way
not-
was
Other
better.
way was better.
All right, I'm gonna put my
Definitely.
Definitely.
my pros back in here. Okay. This is awesome. I've never done an interview with somebody who's behind
awesome.
this.
That's awesome.
That's
You're gonna have
fantastic.
fun.
You're gonna have fun.
I'm gonna reset my settings here to
Yeah, I
get
gotta
on
pull
Yeah, I gotta pull up
This thing here.
Bluetooth. Connected. Should be it. And now I've lost you. Hang on. Here, that should be here. Okay, there we go. All right. What do you think? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, that's good.
That's good.
Okay. Okay.
So I'm gonna do a quick share content just to test the show intro. So tell me if you
Okay.
can hear the show intro. Here we go.
Sure thing.
So let's hear the show. Here we go.
Stop broadcast.
Stop broadcast.
Yeah.
That's playing.
That's playing.
It's paused. I can see
I
it.
just
Yeah, I just
yeah, I
paused
just
it.
buzzed it. But
Yep.
Good.
good.
Yeah,
Is
man.
that the level's pretty good on that, Emily?
That's fantastic.
Okay.
Okay.
It's just a couple
It's
seconds.
just a couple seconds.
So-
So,
All right. So we'll go back.
so we'll go back to
We're gonna stop the share,
stop the share,
and then
and
we're
then
gonna,
we're gonna do that again.
All right.
All right.
All right. I'm not drinking alcohol. I'm just having some LaCroix with
Good.
my Tim Campbell koozie.
Nice, Tim. Great guy.
Yeah.
What a great interview that was.
That was
So
great.
it takes like 30 seconds. I'm gonna go to my computer. I gotta go Zoom to Facebook. At that point,
Facebook
when
at that
it hits,
when
and
it
it's
hits
between 20 and 30
between
seconds.
20 and 30
We're
seconds.
live, so don't
We're
talk,
live, so don't talk.
and you'll just see me
You'll just
trying to
see
get
me
this
trying to
going,
get this going.
and then right when we're
And
done,
then
we're
when
out.
We're done.
And
We're
we're
out.
right in
And
live.
We're right in
So-
live. So
You got it.
All right.
all right.
Good
Good luck.
Thanks you.
Thanks
Thanks for coming on. Live on Facebook. There we go. I'm on an Ethernet line, by the way, so we
Oh,
should have
boy.
a good connection. Share on my page. Last time I shared the wrong page. King Drums. There we go. I shared in my profile a couple weeks ago instead of my music page. That was embarrassing.
Oh gosh.
Emily, and, okay. So we're gonna go live. Takes a sec.
It's preparing. Well, welcome everybody. That was a called a false start. I'm not sure what's going on with the show start for my show tonight, but we are live here. I'm seeing the notification, and sometimes we try to lead with my song, and that was an abysmal failure. That did not work well. It started out like in slow mood, and then went fast. And anyway, we're here. We're live, and someone told me a couple of weeks ago to just can that intro and just start your show. And, maybe that's good advice and I should just start doing that. So my apologies on that. It's my pleasure tonight. And there's a lot of people watching, and there's a big holiday coming up. I don't really consider Memorial Day a holiday. I've participated in Memorial Day in Boy Scouts and Cub Scouts, helping out with leadership and stuff like that. And I used to be a Boy Scout for many years. And just quick background, my name's Tim Kane. I'm the drummer with the Island Castaways Band. I do drum circle facilitation, and I teach drum set mainly to kids and senior citizens all around the state of Massachusetts. And every Memorial Day, we used to march. I won't even call it a parade because it's really not a parade. And my band leader in my band, the Island Castaways, Joe Holovla, told me, there's a lot of people that don't really know what Memorial Day really means. They confuse it with Veterans Day. And, for those that maybe need the reminder, and for all those that have lost loved ones and friends, of course, Memorial Day is for those that have died in battle to defend our United States of America. And so that's coming up, and that's why I have a little bit of a flag here tonight. But it's also a great segue to my special guest tonight, Miss Sergeant Major Emily Randle. How are you, Emily?
Hi, Tim. Hey, everybody that's listening in. Thank you so much for inviting me tonight.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you. We've tossed around dates a few times. Let's start with Memorial Day. I know that you were actually at Arlington National Cemetery earlier today, leading preparation efforts there. Tell me a little bit about what you were doing at Arlington National Cemetery.
I appreciate that, Tim. As the operations NCOIC of the unit, I have just a little finger on everything that happens in the unit. And we are to commemorate Memorial Day every year. One way to remember the difference between that and Veterans Day is the flags in, flags out, which happens on Memorial Day. So we do have 13 soldiers joining the Old Guard for flags in on Thursday morning, where each gravesite will receive a very uniform gesture of a flag. That's also the gravesites that have honor recipient laid to their receive a hand salute. So it's just a really great time to, especially at the end of the pandemic, to return to some normalcy and certainly honoring our traditions.
Well, you enlisted in 2003. I never caught what branch military you serve in.
Sure. So in 2003, I auditioned for the Army, Sterling Strings. There are only 3 strings groups in the country, and they're all in the DC area: the Marines, the Air Force, and the Army. And so I auditioned. I had a great day, and they said, we've got good news and bad news. The good news is you've got a job. The bad news is you have to go to basic training. So I was the oldest, fattest recruit they had. They couldn't figure out why Randle was there, but it was a great weight loss program and good discipline, and really basic training, very effective. So I've been in the DC area since.
Well, I was telling my wife the other day, I lost 10 pounds in the last 30 days working around the house. So if anybody needs to do weight loss, just hit the honey to-do list and you're sure to drop a couple pounds right there. Um, I love when active military, retired military are on our show. And of course, the Island Castaways Band always pays tribute to the military every show. And, I've had members of my own family involved in government service and this and that. So I want to thank everybody for their service as we approach Memorial Day. You, Emily, all of your folks that you serve alongside. It's a sad, somber day, and I know that you probably know some active and other military that have given their lives for our country, and that's really how important Memorial Day is. It's the ultimate sacrifice.
Well, thank you and the band for honoring those who've served. So yeah, every time someone thanks me for my service, I know that it's because of what I represent in the uniform and those who've gone before. So
All
yeah, I
right.
appreciate that. There's a lot of really great military musicians on the Trop-Roc circuit. So lots of great vets too. So
Well,
shout out to all the veterans out there.
I want to talk about that. But my first question is, are you a hard ass Sergeant Major? Are you, tough on the guys and gals in our military? Who
No, it's
are
kinda
you, Sergeant
magical.
Major? Who are you?
When you get that star, it is kind of amazing how you just don't care anymore about whether well, if you're doing the right thing, you have a certain boldness, and it's also great because it's kind of a relief. Sometimes I can convey a message that somebody else might not be able to. So, but I'm really fortunate in what I do and where I serve. Yeah, definitely some funny occurrences. But yeah, it's yeah, it gives you a certain amount of cover.
Well, I mean, I read on your Facebook, but probably 2 years ago. It was almost 2 years ago that you received that promotion. Maybe a little under, or
Well, I actually I pinned on 9 in October. So it was during the pandemic, and it's just been a strange year. But our unit has served throughout. I mean, I've been in office the entire pandemic, and inauguration was actually pretty stressful, I have to say. After the insurrection and during a pandemic, I still had to prepare 147 soldiers to be out there for the rehearsal and the inauguration. And thank goodness everybody came home, and nobody got sick, and everybody was safe.
do you get to perform for them? Are you like the Pied Piper? You come out, the troops are out on the field. It's 5:30 a.m. in the morning, and you're there in your violin and serenading the troops. Does that ever happen, or no?
It's funny. Most people think that I still play the violin for the Army, but I don't. I stopped. I haven't played violin for the Army since October of 2013. My
What?
arm
All right.
started to go numb. So I didn't play for about 3 months, and nobody could figure out what it was. I was afraid I'd never play again. So I moved into the operations department, and then I got an injection in my spine. So my spine is slowly decompressing. Randle's going to get a little shorter every year, but now I play for fun. So I do work a desk job, a support role. But we do have buglers, we have vocalists. It's amazing. Our unit has a ceremonial component, a concert band component. We have a jazz band, an amazing big band. We have a rock band that's killing. We have the Strolling Strings. We have a multitude of vocalists. We have the chorus and Army voices. And I know I'm leaving out a ton of other ensembles.
No,
So
I mean, I've seen some of the military jazz bands in particular come around, and they're just phenomenal musicians.
well, you as a drummer, you can really dig that.
Well, I can dig it. I'm a little too old to sign up. Otherwise, I would. I see the ad all the time. I look, the Army's looking for musicians. Sign up, and I'm too old. So it's not going to happen. But anyway, I wanted to thank you again for your service and all the military, because this show coincides with the upcoming Memorial Day, and we know how special and somber of a day that is. So let's dial back in time a little bit, to your college years, really, and doing some reading and research on you. You actually earned not one, but two violin degrees from University of Illinois, University of Cincinnati. Why two music degrees?
I actually have 2.25 or so. I failed out of my doctorate because I missed finals week because I had a gig. So I figured, when you're a violinist, you kind of go one path and you play your concertos and you play your Bach and you get an orchestra job, and that's it. And so my career has taken different twists and turns. I never knew about the Army job until someone from Cincinnati, someone from grad school, she got the job and said, you know what, why don't you come audition? It's a really good gig. So I never dreamt that I would be in this position. I also studied jazz at Cincinnati Conservatory, really good jazz program. And boy, I got my butt handed to me. It was brutal, but I'm still learning. You're never done with jazz, as you probably know. You're never like, oh, I got it, cool. I understand it all. Nope. It's every note is you're still learning. So that ability to improvise has served me well in all the genres, including all of the people I play with in the Trop-Roc scene, beginning with Peter Mayer. He's really the first one that I ever played with, and that's how I met everybody else.
Well, we're going to get to that in a minute, because we definitely want to talk about that. If people are wondering why my eyes are like gravitating up, my camera's set really low today, and I actually got to look at the monitor above it. So if people are like, why the hell is this guy looking at not the camera but above? That's why. And so I'm just putting it out.
Everyone's just, they're looking at your trombone. That's what I really,
well, this trombone has a story. I'm an old trombonist. Of course, this trombone's from the 4th grade. I can still play it. Actually, let's see.
Oh, no. Yeah, you can.
Yeah,
Nice,
that's the extent of my abilities currently. But
you scared me. I thought, oh my goodness, I didn't know what was going to come out of there. Well, you know what the definition of a gentleman is someone who knows how to play the trombone. Yes, the definition of a gentleman is someone who knows how to play the trombone but chooses not to.
Where did that come from? I like that. That's nice. Now, I have some jokes for you now that you've said that. What do you get when you cross a pig and a violin?
Oh, no. I have not heard this one.
Hamstrings.
That's terrible. You're fired.
How do you keep your violin from getting stolen?
Oh, put it in a viola case.
You know that one. 2 more. What do a violin and a lawsuit have in common?
Everyone is so relieved when the case is closed.
Oh, God, these jokes stink. What do all great violinists have in common?
Oh, no. I don't know.
They're all deceased. Anyway, you pulled out your jokes, so I had them at the ready.
That is true. That's a good one. Very nice. Wow.
All right, let's move on. Enough for this, because we all know that there's like, if there's 4 violin jokes, there's like 40 million drummer jokes. So, let's not get going on that tangent.
That's a whole show right there.
That's a whole show. So when did you first pick up the violin? Like, when did you start playing? Take us back to your musical beginnings.
I like telling this story to little girls now because I was a little girl in the 80s, public school. Most of my peers started playing when they were, fetuses. The mother had a special, learning in the womb. They started when they were real little. Not me. In 4th grade, there was like an instrument petting zoo and you got to pick your instrument. So I went in and I looked around, and the middle school band director was this kind of old cranky white guy. And I saw a trumpet and I said, I want to play that. Whatever that is, looks cool. He goes, that's for boys, pick something else. So I said, okay. And I looked around and I saw a cello. I didn't know what that was. And it was beautiful. Oh, I want to play that. He just got, no, you can't play that. You have to put that between your legs and scratch on it. That's not very ladylike. Then he gets right in my face and goes, why don't you play something nice? Like the
was
flute
it that
or the
close?
violin.
Like super
yeah,
close?
right in my face. And I'm like,
that's freaky.
Guess I'm playing the violin. And so I play the violin because of misogyny in the 80s. But the best part is I do not play the trumpet.
Well, I know a great trumpet player, Tony D'Angelo. He's like 95. He still leads a big band. Unbelievable guy. And I'm not kidding. In fact, everyone in that big band is at least 85, and they're the best musicians.
I love the old cats, man. And the
I've
Jersey,
ever played with.
the Atlantic City guys. Oh,
Yeah.
those guys are epic.
They're unstoppable. All right, so we know that, but before your foray into Trop-Roc, actually, it's about the same time period, but we'll get into that in a minute. Perhaps people don't understand that you played concert level violin, symphonic violin, with the Louisville Orchestra, the Lyric Opera of Chicago, and the Joffrey Ballet. You even made the Baltimore Symphony violin list in 2007 and performed like 7 seasons with them. Describe for us some of those experiences. I mean, when you do concert and symphonic level jazz or concert orchestral stuff, it's a whole nother level than Trop-Roc. I mean, you need to know your stuff, and you need to be able to be an expert sight reader as well. Tell us, how hard was that?
Well, thanks for asking. And a lot of violinists don't much care for orchestra because you're a part of a very big organism in a very big section. You really have to work together and blend. Baltimore Symphony is just the perfect example. Those string players know exactly how to just sound like one soul together. They really know how to play as a group. They really check their egos and blend. And they're amazing players. I love it. I love being part of an orchestra or opera orchestra. You're not improvising. You're not on stage. You're not drinking a bunch of beers. It isn't about you, but it's about something so much greater. So I do love that. But part of the reason I'm in the Army is because I was playing with the Joffrey Ballet. I was doing Nutcracker. I had 36 Nutcrackers, and it was the dead of winter. It was before I joined the Army, and I fell on the stairs. It was 10 degrees, and boom, I landed right on my wrist. I had 3 thoughts. First thought was, wow, I don't have any health insurance. I wonder if that's broken. And the second thought I had was, I have 17 Nutcrackers to play, and I got to pay my rent. And my third thought was, ow, that hurts. And then I thought, wait, that should not be my third thought. But thank goodness for the Army, because, the civilian world, and especially in this pandemic, in this country, sometimes you don't have health insurance. Sometimes you don't have retirement. You just play until your body falls apart. And that's really a tough business. So I knew I needed the commitment of the Army. I committed to the Army, and the Army committed to me. But yeah, thanks for, I still love playing in orchestras. The only thing is, I think from standing in front of so many drum sets with rock bands, I think I'm too hard of hearing now. I don't know if I trust myself.
So what you're saying,
with all due respect,
everything you just said was perfect, in terms of the professionalism and you got to play at an expert level to play symphonic stuff. Until you got to the drums. I mean, why were the drummers that loud, first of all? And, that was kind of a personal slam.
Well, I love it. I love playing with drums. It's funny. I saw you had Roger Guth as a guest, and he's just one of my favorites ever. And what a great, unbelievable jazz musician. His album Tin Roof is ridiculous. I listened to that thing 4 times in a row when it came out. It was 4 a.m. I just dig him so much. But it is. Yeah, orchestral playing it's totally different. I love it. And also when you're in an orchestra, like, you end up being a different kind of sideman. You get to play with, who knows who's booked that season. You might get to play with, let's see, I've played with Kansas. I've played with Andrea Bocelli. I've played with the band Yes, Moody Blues, Bjork. I played with Bjork the week after she punched that photographer. That was cool. I played with Frank Sinatra Jr. I think he hit on me. I'm not sure. He asked me to go on tour with him, just me, not the orchestra. I said thanks, but no thanks. I played with Rod Stewart, and he also, I guess, I don't know if he hit on me, but he didn't even come to sound check. He just showed up for the show, and there he is running up and down the stairs, and he stops in between songs and whispers into my ear, and he says, "Spank yourself," and he runs away. I'm like, spank myself? My Rod Stewart told me to spank myself. Okay, so
why did Rod Stewart say that to you? Is that something normal?
That line has probably worked since 1969. So yeah, I mean, it's so cool. What I love about music is, you bring your case and you open it, you sit, and you could be anywhere. You could be in any country and playing with any orchestra, any band, meet any artist. It's such a great passport. It's pretty funny.
Well, I mean, you actually stole one of my questions from me. Thanks. With that answer. I appreciate it. But let's stay on there for a second because, when I go see concerts, whatever stars coming around, and they hire local symphonic musicians to come back them at that concert, they're hiring local musicians usually. They're not, those musicians usually on an extended tour with them. They're hiring from the local union or they're hiring from a network situation. Is that kind of sound right? Or
Yes, and that's a good point. It's interesting because, of course, the terms have to be fair. And, if it's a union or right to work situation, that's a whole other discussion. But what is neat sometimes is the band will bring a core and then you play with them. I've played with the rock band Belle and Sebastian, maybe 2 or 3 times. And they're pretty big. They come with a violinist, they come with a cellist, but they also hire a trumpet player and a string section. And so you get to play along with them. And that's just great. So yeah, it definitely varies. The touring and touring is so difficult. I don't know how any touring musician does it.
When you show up to a Rod Stewart concert, right? What do you have? Maybe one rehearsal and you got to sight read all his charts and you got these, veteran, been on tour with Rod for 10 years looking down your shoulder. I mean, that's a lot of pressure.
It's super exciting. Like you said, I think the sight reading is what's key. And those cities build those core of really good go-to players, Chicago, New York, DC, those players that you can count on to just get it right the first time. Yeah, Rod Stewart was really interesting because, he runs up and down those stairs right in the middle. And so on the one side, you had the strings and on the other side, you had the brass. And so really neat how each artist has their own book that you can play along with. So, but it's really neat when an artist has their music with orchestral accompaniment. It's
Sure.
really, really cool.
Yeah, I love it too. So is that your favorite gig, is to do that kind of sectional sub work for major artists?
I miss it. I miss, I think every musician now is missing. And America, when I go play gigs now, everybody's just starving for performing and listening and interacting. But yeah, I think I like the variety, really. If I just played one kind of gig, I mean, that's the joke about musicians, right? How do you make a musician complain? Give them a gig. So I think variety is the spice of life, definitely.
All right. So we've kind of beaten that one to death, but in 2003, according to my vast research that I did before this show, you did.
And thank you.
You're welcome. You actually had a great bio. Like some people write bios in like 2 sentences, and yours was perfect. In fact, grammatically, it was very accurate as well. It was very well done, I will say. But in 2003, you did start playing the annual Meeting of the Minds. Of course, that's the benchmark for musicians in Key West. When did your trop? I mean, I already know the answer because you started with Peter Mayer in 2001. But did you have an earlier fascination with trop rock before the whole Mayer thing in 2001, or did it start? In 2001, Peter heard you. He's like, "Hey, I got to have you on my tour. I got to have you in some gigs." Or were the seeds planted earlier than that with your interest and affinity for trop rock?
No, I didn't know what trop rock was. I didn't know who Jimmy Buffett was. Not a fan. All I knew was Margaritaville, that one song. When I moved into college, first day freshman year in the dorm, the girl next to me, back then you had a boombox, right, with a CD. She had Margaritaville on loop. You could have repeat for one track. She played Margaritaville for 8 hours, and I'm still recovering. But I know, so to answer that question, so it was kind of beautiful how I met Pete. Peter Mayer is my first connection with anybody, the lead guitarist with the Coral Reefers. But I didn't know who he was or who Buffett was. Just a friend of mine in Chicago. It was wintertime, just a blizzard in the middle of the week in Chicago. She calls me. She goes, "Yeah, it's a Wednesday night. Hey, this church, I'm supposed to go play this gig for this guy, Peter Mayer, and I don't want to get my car out of the snow. Do you want to go and do it for me?" I said, "Sure." And I did, and I saw that his book had chord symbols in it. And I said, "Hey, I can improvise if you want me to take some solos." And he's like, "Oh yeah, man. it'd be great. Cool, man. And it was just Pete, and there was R. Scott Bryan on percussion. There was Mark Holland on Native American flutes, my buddy Mark Holland. And I didn't know any of these guys. And the only other musician was Jim Mayer, Pete's brother, who plays bass with the Coral Reefers. So Jim and I sat next to each other for dinner and just talked the whole time. Had a great show. It was awesome. Peter's Christmas show, Stars and Promises. It's his original Christian singer-songwriter music. It's just gorgeous. And I played that show and went home. And the next winter, I had won the Army job already. So I knew I was going to go to that. And it was Christmas time. And just before Thanksgiving, Peter's concertmaster had a death in the family and couldn't make the tour. And Jim said, hey, how about that gal from Chicago who can play changes? She can improvise. And, oh, yeah. And so Thanksgiving weekend, I went to St. Louis and rehearsed with them. And then I went on the road with them and played just a ton of shows, finishing up Christmas Eve, just the five of us. And it was, we also had a second violin and a cello that Peter, I don't know who knows that Peter is an amazing arranger. He can write string parts like nobody's business. Fantastic, right? You knew that. It's just fantastic. And so I love his music so much that when I got in the car and defrosted it Christmas Eve at the end of the tour, I played his album. That's how much I love his music and also just his discipline. Every morning at 8 a.m, he's in his hotel room with his coffee, his metronome, his Bible. He's practicing his guitar, just so disciplined, but also really chill. And if there were 3,000 people or 30 people, still did just the best show ever. So that's how I met Pete. And then on the 2002 tour, he had friends come up for various shows at the Encore. And one show in New England seemed different because it was at a church, but there was like a short bus that like dropped off a bunch of fans, I guess. They stumbled off the bus and fell on the street and they were drunk. Apparently they were friends of this guy named Scott Kirby. So at the end, Pete
And
invited us.
parrot heads never get you.
I did not know what a parrot head was. And we were at this church and hey, I'd like to invite up my friend, Scott Kirby. And here's this guy, he's got this acoustic guitar strapped to his chest and he looks real uncomfortable, but he sticks out his hand. He goes, hello, I'm Scott Kirby. I'm like, hi, I'm Emily Randle. Do you know this song? It was an arrangement of Silent Night, instrumental in 4. And I think it was in B flat. And he goes, nope, do you? And I said, no, we haven't played this the whole tour. And so we're like, Silent Night, Holy Night. We don't know how it goes. And he's faking his way. It was really, really funny. So then Scott called me to play Meeting the Minds with him the following year. And so it's like Pete, Scott, and then I'm always meeting new musicians every week, it seems, but every year. So that's the short version of a very long story, really.
You keep taking all my questions, but back to Peter Mayer for a second. I mean, yeah, in terms of his arrangement abilities, I mean, the guy's a musical genius. He really is, if you really delve into what he does. I just watched some of his concerts with his son and his other musicians down in Florida. Just unbelievable.
Oh, killing
yes. it. Killing it down there. But you mentioned Scott Kirby, who was on the show 6 or 7 episodes again, but also Keith Sykes, Mark Holland, Roger Guth, and others. You had the honor of playing with them as well. Do you have a sense that I know Peter just announced today that he's doing a Christmas tour again later this fall? Do you foresee a role in that?
He was very kind. He included me on his Christmas tour for the first few years of my Army career. Christmas is just a tough time for any musician to get on the road. And so what he would do is there was like a week of holiday shows here that I did, which are wonderful. That's my job. So he would sub me out for that week of the tour that I couldn't do, and he'd get another violinist to replace me for that week. But that's kind of jarring. And so he's hired some really great violinists, Laura Cortese and Maggie Estes. And I think Alicia Enstrom, maybe, she's fantastic. Just great. Anybody can play with Pete just because his music is so great. It's funny. You know what? I would do a 20-year career in the Army. And I actually would love nothing better than to get in an RV and tour with Pete all over again. I love those days, you know, sipping coffee and listening to Frank Zappa and playing those shows together. Just awesome.
Well, on a different note, you released your own solo album, and was that your only solo album, or have you released several solo EPs?
That's it, actually. It's just
Okay.
my EP from 2016, and I'm overdue to.
I
I'm
was gonna
finishing up a
ask,
song
is-
now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you working on other things for another EP release?
You know, I think people used to do albums and then they did EPs, and now they release singles. I think it's just too much for me to bite off and chew to do a whole album. So I'm doing a song right now about Key West called "Where the Sidewalk Ends." So I'm finishing that.
All right.
And that should be ready this year, which is nice. At this point, writing one song a year would be good. But that album, Girl of My Dreams, I wrote the EP so that I could perform and promote it at Meeting in the Minds 2016. And thanks to my co-producer and my band, I was able to do that.
Well, I mean, you mentioned there used to be albums, and then there was EPs, and then now people just release singles. Before long,
Yeah.
people just aren't going to release anything. There won't be any music at all.
It's kind of sad. I mean, you know, I
You
have
know?
a ton of CDs. Some people don't even have CD players anymore.
Oh, that's terrible. Do you have a CD
Right?
player? Do you have the old nostalgia of sound systems?
I'm not an audiophile by any chance, but yeah, you know, it's a great songwriting opportunity too. The Trop-Roc scene it's actually the perfect ground to release new material.
All right. So on your EP solo album in 2016, of course, it's "Girl of My Dreams." You cross-pollinated a Romanian dance with the cover "Whipping Post," which I found really interesting. Tell us about, you know, the thought process and the songwriting process that went into that.
That was a complete concession to my own humor. Nobody's gonna buy that. I had to put that on my own album, right? So I just thought it would be funny, and I thought that it would be a good fit, and it would be fun to jam on the Romanian dance, the Bartok. It has cool changes. So I just did that for fun. The funny thing is with that album, the bass player and the drummer, and I don't say this to name drop, I just got very fortunate. My co-producer, Matvey Sigalov, is friends with the guys that own White Star Sound. That's in Charlottesville, Virginia, which is they're next door to Boyd Tinsley's compound, the fiddle player for Dave Matthews Band. Boyd, I guess, is a big tennis player who smokes like a chimney and owns this huge compound next to their recording studio. But so the guys that work at White Star Sound, the guy that engineered my album played bass, and then there was a drummer, and it's Stuart Myers and Brian Jones, and they are high school buddies of Jason Mraz, it turns out. So I want to say it was 99, 2000. Jason Mraz had a song on the radio called "You and I Both," and it's very popular. And the opening is just rhythm section with Jason singing and just popping, so amazing. I love that song. And that was Stuart and Brian. And so to shake their hands at White Star Sound and say, "Nice to meet you. Thank you for playing on my album." It was just ridiculous. It meant so much to me because just fantastic players, especially Brian with the drums, just fantastic drummer. And he loved all the weird stuff on the album. He got a kick out of it.
I was going to ask you about drummers. Like, I mean, I know you played with Roger Guth, and you can't top that. But some of the other drummers that stand out. Tell me about a few of the drummers that you've had the pleasure to like play live with, or even like record with. And I'm not just talking in Trop-Roc, but in symphonic and concert situations. You know, even people on percussion. Who are some of the bigger names that you are well respected out there?
Oh gosh, for drummers. Well, what's interesting, long story short, Key West used to have what was called Key West Symphony Orchestra, and musicians
Really?
would fly down from all over the
That's so-
country.
That's cool.
It is totally cool, and it's very difficult to sustain that. It takes a lot of fundraising. It's very hard to make it viable. But for a while it was. I think they've restructured it a couple times. So back in the day, just musicians would play in from Baltimore, New York City, everywhere. And I remember playing, just great group of musicians, and you'd be on the beach all day and then play with the symphony at night. And I almost got whiplash because this snare drum player, she played the snare drum so beautifully. It's a snare drum. Who cares? I mean, sorry, I'm a violin player, but I was like, wow, what a sound, and the time and the touch. It was like the texture of her snare drum playing. I was like, what in the heck? Her name is Cynthia. And that was before she won the job she has now. She's the principal percussionist of the Chicago Symphony Orchestra,
Wow.
which is like the NFL. That's like,
Yeah.
you know, playing for the big leagues. She is amazing. She is just, so yeah, it's the power of an amazing drummer or percussionist is awesome. But it's funny you say that. On Sunday, I played with James White and John Patty up at the Big Owl Tiki Bar in Kent Narrows, and they FaceTime. Somebody was on the phone with Larry Joe Dunsmore, who's the drummer for Drop Dead Dangerous.
All right.
And I was like, hey, you derelict, what the heck's going on? I was just giving him grief. Larry Joe is one of my favorite. And I told him, I think I'd had enough to drink, where I said, you're my favorite drummer. Wait, no, you're not. Roger Guth's my favorite drummer. Sorry. But, love you, man. But yeah, Larry Joe is killing. He's amazing.
Well, Roger Guth wouldn't care if you thought he was your favorite drummer.
One time I was playing a solo, and like, he was just so great. I got lost. I forgot where I was, and I was just like trailed off. I'm looking at him, and he's just cooking. He's simmering. He's doing his taxes. He doesn't care, and he's got his glasses on. He's like, he's just grumpy. He didn't want to be there. He probably wanted to be fly fishing, right? He's like, he's playing. He's cooking. Amazing, and he just looks up at me like, what are you looking at? What's wrong with you? I'm like, you are amazing, and he's like, he does not care. So yeah, pretty funny, man.
One of the toughest interviews I ever did. Great guy. Tough interview. I had to prepare. Right? Yeah, definitely. Well, we actually got a couple of videos of Emily performing, both with Peter Mayer and then a second one with her band. But we'll talk about the Peter Mayer video first, and then we'll talk about the next video after. Tell us a little bit about this video before we play it.
Well, thanks to the audience for humoring this video. It's completely impromptu, and it's one of those videos where in Key West, it's Meeting of the Minds 2010. I've had like 40 people come up to me and say, hey, I was there. I was wearing a parka on the beach at the Pier House, bundled up, listening to you and Pete play. I was right there. And a lot of people have said, oh yeah, I was there, and before I met them. So it was like 40 some degrees, super windy. It was some late night. Oh, now I remember, because Scott Kirby, after that, he goes, let's just go have one cocktail. Because we had to drive up to the mainland the next morning to catch our flight. We were almost late. I had to pull over and throw up like a bajillion times. Now it's coming back to me like a bad dream. All right. But before that, Pete and I played. And so my friend Ron Horn, who's a fellow Chicagoan, he happened to have his cell phone out. It died at the end of the video, but it's just a real windy. You can hear the wind blowing, but it's just a really impromptu, wonderful. I never get to play with Pete duo like we used to at certain opportunities. And so it was a really neat opportunity where it's just him and me playing. And it's one of my favorite songs of his. It's off Music Box, and it's about Key West, and it's called The Last Island.
All right. So we're going to play it. I know there's something happens at the end of it, but so in Zoomville, and I've gotten better at it over the last year, I'm screen sharing from my iPad from my drum kit here. And so it takes a second. So please just bear with me for a sec. You might hear an echo or something like that. We'll try not to talk until the video starts, but here we go. Da, na, 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 na. Emily, raise your hand.
Raise your hand if you can't hear it.
shot and stole into the night. Slip past the paparazzi to their freedom. The confidential spot erupted in a fight between the famous, the rest of us wanna be there. Off the steamer and drifted down the Nile. Tried to hide the southern faces in dark glasses. Tried to bribe the bush pilot with $1 million smile, but only US dollars can save there as I'm on my way to the last island. Don't look back, don't think twice. Oh, I'm on my way to the last island. Something to call my own dad. He got them on the beach, some uncharted virgin spot. We built a shelter, no one ever find it. They named their own volcano, we climbed up to the top. That's when they saw the sign, said this property was private. A holy man was smiling, cross-legged and sunburned. Said I spend my life choosing between the cola. But I own this Shangri-La, and I suggest that you return. Just go back to your own land of rock and rollers. I'm on my way to the last island. Don't look back, don't think twice. Oh, I'm on my way to the last island. Something to call my own that day night. So they gathered up the driftwood. How about Emily on that violin? So they gathered up the driftwood and made it watertight. Drifted right on us to the horizon. Well, I'm confused and I'm scared, he said. No land in sight, but I've got you, dear, to keep your hands on me. We're on our way to the last island. Don't look back, don't think twice. Oh, I'm on my way to the last island. Something to call my own, won't that be nice? To the last island, I'm gonna find my piece of paradise.
Woohoo! Oh, amen to all the fans that stayed bundled up and listening. What a great night that was. That was so super fun.
That was pretty incredible.
Uh,
Before we go to the next one, I don't think you're hearing an echo. I think I muted it, but beyond Peter and he's just in another universe of guitar playing. But like when you play with him or others like that, like I'm just listening to your playing. Are you dancing around? Obviously, you're echoing or enhancing the melody line that he's presenting, but during the solo that you played there, are you following like a scale of sorts, or how do you even approach playing a solo on violin in that genre of music?
the short answer is I should be more linear, but I think about the
What
chords.
does that mean? That's
Like,
a
I
big
should
word
really-
for me.
Well, I think about the chords. Like I kind of think of vertically. I think about chord, chord, chord. I do think about how to connect the chords, but as far as drawing a long line, so I tend to be a little bit on the rhythmic side and not as much melodic. But yeah, I mean, like really, Pete's writing is it's just it's not easy to play over either, but it's rewarding. It's just really rich. His harmonic. I like how he writes with a lot of harmonic color. So yeah, I don't really like pick a scale or lick or like mode or anything. I probably should think about it harder than I do, but I just try to choose the colors of the chord changes that are really cool. So yeah, it's super fun.
It's improv, man.
Yeah, man.
So this next song, I did watch the video. It was exciting to watch. For our viewers out there that have children, maybe this is the time to go somewhere else. But at first I thought maybe I shouldn't play this video. I don't know. It's a little bit provocative, but there's actually a story behind it that you'll get from watching the video and listening actually to the lyrics of it. You'll understand, and I'm sure that Emily doesn't want to delve into why she wrote the song. But tell me a little bit about Baby Bear. That is the name, right?
Yes. Yep. So it's like a kind of a sick, twisted version of Goldilocks and the Three Bears. It's like what would really happen if it was like a weird fever dream. But it came to me actually, the song, the piano. I like went and sat at a piano that night with the lyrics and some of the songs come guitar, some come piano, some come violin. And so I was getting a massage. I have a lot of chronic pain. And I was getting a 90-minute like elbow in the back, one of those, I was like in so much pain in this. And the song came to me when I was in a lot of pain, funny enough. But so yeah, it's kind of funny and weird. And so it's the only like real music video I've ever done. And I rented a cabin. And in the video, you'll see like there's a hole in the wall. This isn't a cabin on the C&O Canal in near Georgetown. Shouldn't have kicked a hole in the wall, but it did. There's kind of an unarmed combat scene that we rehearsed for, that we trained for. My ribs were sore for like 3 weeks from being like slammed into the wall. And I have to say, I loved it. I love it. I love making music videos. It was super fun.
You said in your own bio that you not prefer it, but you do a lot more music videos than you do live performance now, that you have a real interest in, videography. Who were you you were singing in the video, but there was another woman that was the actress, main actress in the video that was kind of portraying the scenes. Were you that person as well? I couldn't tell.
Yeah, that's me.
Okay. I didn't know. All right. So
at
you
the time,
portrayed
I was brunette, and so I had a blonde wig on.
Okay. And who were the band? Were they real players or they just actors in the video?
So they were playing along to my album, but the guitarist and the keyboardist are actually on my album.
All right.
The drummer and the bass player are both in my army band, funny enough. And the bass player also doubles in the video. He plays the role of Baby Bear.
All right. If there's one constructive criticism that I have after watching the video, it's not the drummer plays well, but he's playing as if he's a jazz drummer, and this tune's really a rocker. And
You
so
don't
when
even
you see
know
him, you
how
see him
right you
playing, and
are.
he's playing, like he's playing Frank Sinatra, New York, New York, and this is a thrasher. So anyway, that's what I picked up from the video.
You're
Otherwise,
totally
excellent
right.
video all the way around. Anything before we go to the video?
No, thanks and thank you. And yeah, good times, you guys. Crank it.
Give her that porridge, baby. It's not too hot or too cold. I'll steal your porridge, baby. That's what you get for not locking your door. It's not too hot or too cold. So good, I'm gonna lick the bowl. 'Cause it's just right, baby bear. I'll wreck your bed, baby. I'm spoiled, it's mine, everything I see. I'll take your bed, baby. You never dreamed you'd come home to a girl like me. Baby bear, come to bed. You gonna find me in there instead. One of us is gonna end up dead, baby bear. Who's been sleeping in my bed? He said, I'm gonna lay still. Who's been sleeping in my bed? I'm gonna lay real still. Who's been sleeping in my bed? He said, I'm gonna tear you to pieces. Yeah. I'll break your chair, baby, and leave the wreckage on the floor. Where's Mama Bear, baby? I guess I took the place she had before. Listen, I'm gonna break your chair. I'll leave the pieces just lying there till you come on back to me, baby bear. Baby bear.
Wow.
Everybody in one piece.
Holy moly. What a great video. A couple follow-up questions to that video. Talk to me about your outfit. Is that something that, you rented, or did you hand sew it?
I don't want to name names, but the corset and the wig are from a fellow female musician who's just fantastic. But she is a former, what do they call it? Golly, what do they call it when you're performing at a
That happens
club,
to
but
me
you're
all the
not?
time.
Oh my gosh.
I forget stuff all the time.
She's not
So,
a
I mean,
stripper, okay? It's not a stripper. It's called something else when you're some
no,
other
it's
kind
not.
of artist. You're not a boudoir artist. Darn it, I can't remember what it's
When I
called. Anyway,
listen,
she's got an alternate personality, that artist, that stage name she had to perform under many years ago. And so it's
Cool.
amazing. She said, try these wigs, try this. You can be anybody you want to be when you kind of change costume like that. So yeah,
it was one of the best music videos I've ever seen, and I will say I haven't seen it before. You sent me your bio, and I started doing research. One of my lead guitarists in my band, Paul Kane, who actually founded the Island Castaways band 14 years ago or something, he likes all of your videos. Like, I saw who likes stuff, and Paul keeps popping up on all your stuff. He's a huge fan of yours, Paul. He really is.
I appreciate that. Hey, Paul, that's cool.
Sorry,
Man.
Paul. Had to mention. So let's move on from that video, because that's a hobby. You have so many different sides to you: symphonic, orchestral, trop-rock, jazz, thrash, hard rock. You can't really put yourself in one certain definition or category, and I like that. But we're running out of time slowly here, but I do a thing every week called rapid fire questions. And so I got a couple quick questions, quick answers, 5-10 seconds. Here we go. Do you prefer electric or acoustic violin?
Acoustic.
Why?
The sound is warm. If I can get just a really nice warm sound louder, the electric violin sounds like a cheese slicer, except worse.
Favorite charity? What is your favorite charity?
Wounded Warriors.
Okay, what's your
Foundation.
biggest Wounded Warriors Foundation? Excellent foundation. Your biggest military mission that you can tell us about?
Oh my good night. Oh, pass. I'll come back to it.
All right. Advice. This is a good one. I don't know a lot of violinists. I know a few. In fact, the violinist up here in Massachusetts, where I'm based, helped me get a recent job at a music conservatory because she's on the board of directors. And so I actually really like violinists now. I didn't really know them before, but she acted as a reference, I think, for me in helping me land that drum job. And so, good job. But for young violinists out there, the ones that are still in conservatories, the ones that don't go to conservatories, the ones that join military and enter into the various bands right out of high school, or even the violinists that don't go on to collegiate or military service and just hit the road with their band or like you do, join up and sub on different gigs. What advice do you have for these young violinists entering such a topsy-turvy musical market right now?
Well, I don't envy them. It's super hard. And as far as going to college and getting a degree, I don't have any advice for that, but I would say take risks and play more than one kind of music. And if you can, learn how to sight read your butt off. And if you can learn to play chord changes, even better.
I tell my students, I teach drums locally, mainly kids. I tell them that all the time. In fact, I force my students to learn how to sight read because I think it's such a hugely important thing. Not that drummers would ever actually read a lick of sheet music at most of the gigs that we play, other than concert and symphonic stuff, but to have that musical tutelage, to have that musical background, to know what note values are and the different dynamics and things involved in music helps a lot, particularly when you get into songwriting. And so I'm back to the military mission because I'm not letting you go until you tell me a story from your military service.
I will say in the Strolling Strings, we play counterpart visits in the quarters, dining rooms. Nobody sees it. For other countries that visit us, our chief of staff of the army counterparts, and that sort of thing. And when the countries drink, like New Zealand, they love us, right? They're already having fun by the time our harp player shows up. The Middle Eastern countries are really hard because we don't agree on much and they don't drink. So what are you going to do? So one time we were entertaining for our counterpart for Jordan. And so we come into the dining room and we're playing our Mozart, and the Jordanians are not having it. And they're just not, the interpreters, nobody's happy. Whatever happened, didn't go well. Uh-oh. Okay, Mozart. All right. How about My Fair Lady, on the street where you live? Hey, everybody. Nope. Jordanians did not want any of that. So we started playing a Bedouin medley of their songs we had learned. We wrote and memorized an original arrangement of their songs. And it was not even the Western tonal system. It was like, we've got a percussionist. And the Jordanians' eyes were like that. They could not believe that Americans had bothered to even try to learn their music. And then they started talking. And I think it was the chief of staff of the Army at the time. I don't know if it was the chairman of the Joint Chief of Staff. He looked so relieved. He was like, thank you guys. Holy cow. Good save, because that was not going well. But that was just a tiny little part of how music can really change the mood. So that was really cool.
Awesome. You've been a great guest. A quick preview for our viewers. This isn't the end of the program. It's just the beginning. In fact, for the 3 people watching this video, it actually picks up steam. Roger Guth, we had, 45 watching live, but now it's up to almost 2,000 views. And that's not, on top of that ice cream is Show Life Radio. And so Emily's interview will be on showliferadio.com this Sunday at 8 p.m. and then the following Wednesday at 3 p.m. So if you can't watch the video podcast here or on Facebook or YouTube, that's what we'll do in the next few days. Check it out on showliferadio.com. It's always interesting to listen to audio and not see the video, particularly people don't need to look at me. And so it's been great to have you on. Again, to all of our service members, we wish them, I don't like to say a happy Memorial Day, because it's really a somber event. And quite frankly, most all, if not all, the active military help in some way to make the exercises that happen on Memorial Day across our great country go on. And so they're doing service even on Memorial Day to honor those that have fallen during a time of battle. And so, if you can get out and honor that in your own community on Monday, that would be awesome. Emily, you've been a great guest. Thank you so much for being on.
Thank you, Shore Life Radio. Thanks to all the radio stations that honor the musicians and the fans. And Tim, what a fun night. Let's do it again. Thanks so much, Tim.